Hey everyone, welcome to the first of many reaction type videos in this new era of my channel. These aren't as cinematic as the big commentary videos, but I figured these could hold the line while the other content is being produced. Oh, and by the way, a drawing washed up on the shores of this island, and I'll show you what it is at the end of this video. So, superhero fatigue. If you look at various social media sites, you can see many people voicing their grievances against the superhero genre, specifically regarding Marvel, and I'll talk about DC later on. However, superhero fatigue doesn't hold up when you see the reception of The Boys and Invincible. They are doing great, and I myself am hyped for their upcoming seasons. Season 3 of The Boys was just as good as the first, if not better. Season 2 had me worried a bit, but in retrospect, it wasn't bad. Invincible also left a great impression on me, and I can't wait to see what's next. I don't think I'm alone in those sentiments. Simply put, superheroes are here to stay as long as it's creative and interesting. I want to dig a bit deeper and explain why I believe superhero as a genre is here to stay for a long time. You remember when zombies used to be very prominent in the cultural landscape? Movies, shows, and games just have to have some form of zombies in them. I believe at a certain point the formula got a bit stale. You had the initial outbreak, public confusion and chaos, our everyday folks learning how to survive. Once they master the zombies, other humans are now the new monster. Oh, don't forget about the zombies, they're still here. It also didn't help that it was oversaturated. The idea is fun, and someone might find a fresh new take on the genre that revitalizes the zombie craze again. Or perhaps time away from zombies will make us want it again. To this day, zombie games are still fun, I don't care what anyone says. I come back to Dying Light 1 and Left 4 Dead 2 from time to time. I've also had an interest to rewatch the earlier seasons of The Walking Dead and various movies featuring zombies. After decades of superhero films, it's showing no signs of slowing down, and I believe what it has more of than zombie movies is malleability. Superhero stories can be action-packed, slow burns, romantic, comedies, horror stories, etc. The fact that it can take on so many forms and settings is why it has more staying power. It's like a sandbox with insane possibilities, and that's why, for me at least, I'm excited to see what comes out. The problem is what the MCU is currently doing and what the DCEU has failed to do. Before I continue further, I want to establish my stake in this. I never talked about my interest in superhero films because this channel was largely social political commentary. I enjoyed Phase 1 through 3 of the MCU. There were lackluster films, but the hype was always there. After Infinity War and Endgame, the MCU to me became similar in execution to Marvel Comics. A lot of new stories and heroes to keep up with. To make this crystal clear, this has come from the perspective of someone who has kept up with the MCU. Yeah, even Phase 4. All TV shows and movies. I'm up to date with the lore. Yeah, I know, consumer. This means I have an informed opinion on why I think for me and many others that the MCU magic just isn't what it used to be. I also watched most of what the DCEU had to offer, and I'm sorry I don't have a lot to say. It sort of fizzled out before it got fun. This is purely my honest look at both franchises. No culture war crap, so don't worry. To focus this up, it's not superhero fatigue, it's MCU fatigue. Let's take a look at Phase 4. How the heck do you follow up after Endgame? What I was thinking at the time was that it would be great to go small. Get us used to low or personal stakes before going big again. Because if everything is an Avengers level threat, then none of it is. What we got was a lot of mid films, with some being great and others being bad. It seems as if releasing lots of content in a short amount of time was stretching themselves too thin. The overall quality of the films seemed to have been spiraling down, except for a few exceptions. After watching Ant-Man Quantumania, the start of Phase 5, my opinion hasn't changed. It was mid. It had interesting elements in there, and Kang was the best thing in the film, but it failed to be great. It took a safe conclusion instead of doing something memorable. I'm avoiding spoilers, but this movie could have easily made an impact. The pieces were there. Honestly, safe and mid is what I describe a lot of recent MCU films, besides the exceptions. Movies like Shang-Chi, No Way Home, and Wakanda Forever were great. An honorable mention would be Doctor Strange 2. And then you have those where the execution fell short, but they were interesting in concept. That would be Moon Knight and the Eternals. Out of the Disney Plus shows I enjoyed, WandaVision and Loki come to mind. I should also add that being mid is not bad. The movies and shows were good enough to watch and sit through, but would I watch it again? Not really. They could even be of good quality and well done, but I guess it just didn't grab me enough for me to care. It's all my opinion. Some people might love these movies as is, and that's fine. People create an online culture where you must be overly cynical, and not only that, you must convince other people to hate the popular thing as much as you do. It's lucrative, so that's an incentive. I'm still a fan of the MCU, but I can understand why many people are fatigued by it. Phase 4 was huge. There were a lot of films and streaming shows to keep up with. If they were all awesome, I don't think it would be too much of a problem. But as I said, a sizable amount of them were safe and mid. People who have a backlog of MCU content to watch would feel like it's homework just to see a setup for another... I don't want to keep saying it again, but you get the point. Like the formulaic setting with zombie stories, the MCU has taken their safe formula, which used to be guaranteed success, and oversaturated it in Phase 4. As big as the MCU is, it's still a microcosm of superhero stories, and there are ways to make it fresh and fun again. There is more to superheroes than Marvel and DC, although they are what you think of when that word is used. In Phase 5, it seems that they are cutting down the releases, which is great. I hope that gives the studio enough time to refine the stories. I won't count anything releasing early this year as a part of that plan, because Ant-Man 3 was produced during the Phase 4 mindset, but it was pushed into Phase 5. I don't think that counts. And I assume other people got that feeling too. I'm still looking forward to new MCU content, but I know not everyone feels the same. So what do you think? Is the MCU salvageable, or were you done after Endgame? As for the DCEU, there isn't anything new I can add that hasn't been said already. They rushed to compete with the MCU instead of telling good stories first. The exceptions were the Wonder Woman movie up until that ending, The Suicide Squad with James Gunn, and oddly, Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. I didn't think I'd like it, but it was actually good. I didn't see everything, so there could be more. I like DC Comics and their stories, and I want them to succeed in this next attempt. Who doesn't want to see more good movies? The good thing about the MCU declining a bit, and yeah, it's a bit, all these people exaggerating that the MCU is dead or just hyping it up for the audience. The good thing about that is that it gives the incentive for others attempting the shared universe idea to put their own twist to it, hopefully. Or DC could see what the MCU is afraid of doing at the moment and capitalize on it, but only time will tell. Anyways, I gotta go. Be nice to one another and take care of yourselves.